Hey everyone, I'm Jason.
And I'm Colton.
And today we're going to be talking about the Dark Brotherhood DLC for Elder Scrolls Online.
Yep. I want to take a moment while we start this video to say that the complete patch notes and updated content lists and everything like that for this release is in the description. This is general discussion of the content that is offered with this update.
Now, I'm not really super big on the Elder Scrolls series. I like it, but I will say the Dark Brotherhood is my absolute favorite faction from the Elder Scrolls games. It's not because they're super grimdark and edgy, but the missions required more thought than go into this man's home and beat up his family.
Yes.
I don't know what you did in... Well, I do know what you did in the Elder Scrolls. You played a good guy.
No, I didn't. The only Elder
Bullshit, you did!
The only Elder Scrolls game I've played, other than Skyrim, and I haven't even played that much of Skyrim, is I played a little bit of Oblivion, and I played a thief named HR Touchin' Stuff. And I stole everything that wasn't stapled. And then I stole the staples on the things that were stapled.
And
then stole those too.
In this expansion, we're not stealing stuff, we're killing stuff.
Yeah, this is all about murder.
I mean, I stole from people after I killed them, but that's because, well, they don't fucking need it anymore.
Right, now this expansion, or downloadable content, I guess you want to call it.
Yeah, it's more DLC then.
It came with Dark Brotherhood content, Marked for Death, which is a quest line, I believe. Came with new world bosses and delves, so delves are like dungeons. It came with a new passive skill line for the Dark Brotherhood.
It's really cool, you get to do a lot more damage.
There were some general changes to Imperial City. They made changes to some other places like White Gold Tower and Imperial City Prison, room boxes, motifs. They added item sets, new mementos. There's a whole lot of stuff going on here. If you want to read the complete notes, like I said, they're in the...
they're there, we promise.
They're there in the description. Jason, take us through your experience with the...
Well, once you start the DLC, you get a quest. I believe it was Marked for Death. But in order to join the Dark Brotherhood, you have to kill a person. You go to the town, and you kill someone. It doesn't matter who, it doesn't matter why. Preferably don't get caught by the guards, because that really sucks. That happened to be a lot, at least in the starting. And then you go over the water, and you learn about the Dark Brotherhood. You go on the quest chain to join them. But they, after you're accepted by their very creepy family... You get there's a big game mechanic that's added to this, like in the Thieves Guild DLC, you were able to hide in barrels and stuff. That's still there, but now there's a game mechanic called the Dagger of Woe. Not woe like on Blossom, but W-O-E.
Yeah, like a Tree of Woe.
Yes, like the tree.
Except with daggers.
Yeah, it's a lot like the Tree of Woe for wrestling, only you stab people in the back.
Okay.
Sometimes in the chest.
Fantastic. And I take it that murders them.
Yes, it's an instant death mechanic. You have to be hidden, and it's the range for it's very finicky. Some targets it lets you throw the dagger from a fair distance. Sometimes you have to be right under their ball sack.
You have to be casually smelling their hair.
Yeah, it's really... There doesn't seem to be a particular distance, but I could be wrong. For me, it always varied. And when it's bound to X on the keyboard, and you kill them in a spectacular way with a lot of blood. I was in a crowded street with 4 guards around me and 3 peasants, and I killed a priest right there in the road, just dead, and no one did anything, and I just casually walked away like a big shot.
Yes.
But the next time I tried it on that same quest, there was no one within a mile. I stabbed the guy, and suddenly 4 guards...
Stop right there, criminal scum!
So it's a little finicky overall, but it's a really cool game mechanic. You don't get a lot of XP. I was getting 15 XP a kill, so if you're doing it to level, I wouldn't.
I just wouldn't.
I would stop that. But if you're trying to get to someone, to an important NPC, and they don't have that bullshit lantern that immediately takes off stealth, then go for it. But again, there are new traits you can get, Dark Brotherhood traits, like more damage, stuff like that. I only have a couple of them. One of the things I feel is important is you do not have to be playing a Nightblade to do this. You don't have to be a rogue if you want to be a healer. And some people can live and some people can die. You can do that, but I do feel like it's easier for spellcasters and it's easier for rogues, because I had a fight that was glitched. I'll get into that in a minute. But if I didn't have a spellcasting staff, I would have never succeeded. Because me and Eric found a really big glitch in the second story mission for the Dark Brotherhood.
Right.
It's, you go into this church to rescue one of your brothers. You go underground, you sneak around, you kill church officials. And the final encounter for the fight has these patrols, and they have this little bullshit lantern. Okay, if you get into the radius, it stops your stealth immediately. And you have to go and kill these patrols one at a time, and like another one pops up and another one. But if you die during this section, those patrols you didn't kill stay there. So I wound up having to fight sometimes 4, 5, 6 on 1.
Oh, wow.
Because sometimes they would pull and sometimes they would not. I died on this quest, and like I said in my article, I died 18 times. That is not an exaggeration. I did count.
That's quite a lot.
It is. I almost pushed my computer out of the window.
But in addition to that, they've added in stuff in addition to the Mark for Death and Dark Brotherhood content they've added. You've got 2 new world bosses, which include the Tribune's Folly, which is generally a Minotaur-themed fight. And then you have the Kvatch Arena.
Yes, that I've done a little of.
And they cut loose in the arena, those Colovians. And they have a partners brawl, which I guess is like the Royal Rumble, where you can fight for your freedom in a 30-man over-the-top rope
Battle
royal with Stone Cold Steve Austin's won 3 times.
That's true.
What happens when...
Shout out to Stone Cold.
Yes, he won his freedom from the
from Vince McMahon.
From the Colovian.
The Imperial Vince McMahon.
There are 2 new delves with Hirota Cave, which is a drowned sprawl near the borders of the city of Anvil, and then you have the Garless Agia? I don't. Somebody's gonna tell me how to say that in the comments. And then that's like a Gold Coast trading company. You go fuck them up.
Because that's really where all this takes place. Is
and
in the
also
Gold Coast.
Yeah, and there are now repeatable bounties. Both Anvil and Kvatch have repeatable daily quests that you can.
Yes, that's one of the things I did a lot of, because I needed to farm rep for the Dark Brotherhood because it's still an MMO. And there are daily missions now for the Dark Brotherhood where there are certain conditions, like go into this sewer system, kill this guy, but use this poison to kill him.
Right, and there's cool stuff. You can make poisons now.
Yeah,
and
I
to go
love
a little
that.
more into the passive skill line of the Dark Brotherhood, you do get the Blade of Woe, like Jason was talking about. This attack does not work on player characters in Cyrodiil or any bosses in the game.
I was a little bummed about that.
It can only be performed on creatures belonging to the standard races of Tamriel. Then you get Scales of Pitiless Justice, which what those do is bounty gained from witnesses of your assaults or murders is reduced. So
I needed that badly.
then you have Patamaic. Yeah, Patamaic Sprint. Slaying innocent victims grants you a quick boost to your speed so you can evade guards.
So you can go back to killing.
Shadowy Supplier. You can visit a Silent Watcher in the Dark Brotherhood to gain special boons and bonuses. Shadow Rider. Your mount instinctively knows how to keep to the shadows, significantly reducing your mounted aggression radius. And then finally, Spectral Assassin. Even in broad daylight in the midst of a crowd, Sithis Sithis cloaks you in his void embrace and may prevent you from being witnessed when using the Blade of Woe.
So you become Assassin's Creed.
So you have a chance to not be noticed when you kill someone in broad daylight, which might explain why
I didn't get caught and then I got caught.
Yeah, that apparently, I guess the way that it's written here implies that there's a chance that it happened.
Because it was really cool, I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
But there are some goods and some bads about this DLC though.
Take us through the final thoughts and your pros, cons, and your final analysis, Jay.
Pros, it's very true from what I remember to the Dark Brotherhood. The missions are a lot of fun. I likes killing. I likes being grimdark and edgy from time to time. I had a lot of fun with the Dark Brotherhood DLC, and after my article, I still found myself logging on to murder people, so...
So people should get it.
Yeah, if you like the Dark Brotherhood in any of the Elder Scrolls games...
Get it.
You should get it.
Well, that's going to do it for our discussion of the Elder Scrolls, the Dark Brotherhood DLC, and we will see you next time, right here.
On Bottom Tier.